Imagine walking through a dusty parking lot on the outskirts of a desert city. The sun is beating down at 110 degrees. You wipe the sweat from your eyes and look at the car in front of you. It's covered in a thick layer of sand, looking like it hasn't moved in years. You wipe a spot on the hood with your thumb. Beneath the dirt, you see the unmistakable Rosso Corsa red paint. You look closer. It's a Ferrari Enzo, one of only 400 ever made, a car worth over $3 million, and it is sitting here rotting, with the keys still in the ignition. You keep walking. Next to it is a Lamborghini Aventador with flat tires. Then a Bentley Continental with the leather dashboard melted by the sun. Then a Rolls-Royce Wraith gathering dust. This isn't a post-apocalyptic movie set. This is the reality of Dubai's supercar graveyards. Every year, thousands of the world's most expensive luxury vehicles are abandoned at airports, in parking garages, and on the side of the road in the UAE. They are left by their owners who fled the country in a panic, never to return. In this video, we are going to investigate the dark economic truth behind this phenomenon. We are going to expose why a city with so much wealth has a throwaway culture for million-dollar assets, the brutal debt laws that force expats to choose between a plane ticket and a prison cell, and the hidden industry of police auctions where you might, just might, be able to buy a Ferrari for the price of a Toyota Camry. But before we pop the hood on this disaster, I need to keep it 100% real with you for a second. We are a small, independent channel trying to break through the noise. We are working day and night to monetize this channel so we can afford to keep doing these deep dive investigations full time. Here's the deal. It takes you exactly 2 seconds to hit that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing, $0, but it helps us exponentially. If you want to help us expose the truth and grow this community, please just click subscribe right now. It's a tiny effort for you, but it changes everything for us. Thank you. Now let's go to the graveyard. To understand why this happens, you have to understand the specific kind of wealth that exists in Dubai. Dubai is a city built on credit and ambition. For years, it attracted new money from the UK, Europe, Russia, and the US. These weren't billionaires buying these cars with cash. These were high-flying executives, real estate agents, and crypto bros who moved to Dubai, got a massive tax-free salary, and immediately fell into the Dubai lifestyle trap. The trap is simple. You arrive, you get a credit card with a $50,000 limit, you get a loan for a villa on the Palm, and you walk into a dealership where they practically throw the keys of a Porsche or a Ferrari at you with zero down payment. For a while, life is a movie. You are living the Instagram dream, but then the bubble bursts. Maybe the real estate market crashes, like in 2009. Maybe you lose your high-paying job. Maybe your business goes under. In the United States or Europe, if you can't pay your car loan, the bank repossesses the car, your credit score takes a hit, and you file for bankruptcy. It sucks, but you don't lose your freedom. In Dubai, the story has historically been very different. For decades, the UAE operated under strict Sharia-based laws regarding debt. Until very recently, a bounce check wasn't just a civil matter, it was a criminal offense. If you missed a car payment, or if the check you wrote to the bank bounced, you weren't just a bad debtor. You were a criminal. You could face immediate jail time. Imagine the panic. You are an expat. You just lost your job. You have a $4,000 monthly payment on a Ferrari 458 Italia. You know you can't make the payment next week. You know that if the check bounces, the police can arrest you. You face an indefinite prison sentence until the debt is paid, which you can't pay because you are in prison. So what do? You panic. You pack 2 suitcases. You drive your Ferrari to Dubai International Airport, DXB. You park it in the long-term parking lot as close to the terminal as possible. You scribble a note on the dashboard saying, "I'm sorry." You leave the keys in the ignition because you know you are never coming back. You get on the first flight to London, and you never look back. This is why the airport parking lots became the epicenter of the crisis. At the height of the 2009 financial crash, police were finding dozens of abandoned luxury cars every single day at the airport. It became a symbol of the global recession. But even today, despite some changes in the bankruptcy laws, the fear remains. The culture of flight is deeply embedded in the expat psyche. Let's talk about the Enzo legend. The most famous abandoned car in history was that Ferrari Enzo once mentioned at the start. It was owned by a British expat. He reportedly fled Dubai after failing to pay traffic fines and loans. He left a $1.6 million masterpiece gathering dust in a parking lot for 20 months. The police eventually seized it. It became an internet sensation. It was a symbol of the easy come, easy go attitude of the city. But it's not just the airport. Walk through the underground parking garages of skyscrapers in the Marina or JLT. You will see them. Cars with thick dust, sometimes with "Wash Me" written on the windshield by pranksters. These are the cars of people who left in the middle of the night, or perhaps people who did go to jail and have been sitting in a cell while their assets rot a few floors below their empty apartment. There is something deeply haunting about seeing a Rolls-Royce Phantom, the pinnacle of automotive luxury, hand-built in England, looking like a piece of junk. It triggers a feeling of ruin porn. It reminds us that material objects are temporary. In the desert, everything eventually turns back to dust. The environment in Dubai is brutal for cars. It's not just the sand, it's the heat. In the summer, temperatures hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit, 50 degrees Celsius. Inside a closed car, it can reach 160 degrees. This heat melts the glue on the dashboard. It dries out the leather until it cracks. It ruins the rubber seals around the windows and the engine hoses. The suspension airbags deflate, leaving the car scraping the ground. A car that sits for a year in Dubai is not the same as a car that sits for a year in a garage in California. The Dubai sun cooks the car from the inside out. This is why the dream of restoring these cars is often a financial nightmare. You might get the car for cheap, but the engine seals are blown, the electronics are fried, and the interior needs to be completely gutted. But that doesn't stop the bargain hunters. This brings us to the police auctions. This is the part of the story that everyone wants to know about. What happens to these cars? The Dubai. Police seize them. If the owner doesn't claim the car within a certain period, usually 15 days to 6 months, depending on the case, the car becomes government property. They hold massive auctions. You can see rows of Ferraris, Bentleys, Maseratis, and G-Wagons lined up like used Civics. The starting bids can be incredibly low. There are urban legends of people buying a Ferrari for $500. Is it true? Technically, yes, the bidding starts low, but the professional dealers are there. They know the value. However, you can get a car for 30% to 50% below market value if you are lucky and willing to take the risk. The catch? No test drives, no mechanic inspections. You buy it as is. You might be buying a steal, or you might be buying a $100,000 repair bill. I've seen videos of these auctions. It's chaotic. You have guys in suits bidding against mechanics in overalls. They are fighting over a Porsche Panamera that looks like it went through a sandstorm. It's a gamble, and for many, the allure of owning the Dubai dream for a fraction of the price is too strong to resist. But there is a darker side to these auctions. Sometimes the cars aren't abandoned by individuals. They are assets seized from money laundering operations or drug busts. When you buy a car at a Dubai police auction, you don't know its history. You don't know if that trunk was used to transport something illegal before the owner made a run for the border. You are buying a ghost. Let's talk about the mechanics special. There's a thriving industry in Dubai of garages that specialize in bringing these dead supercars back to life. In the industrial area of Al Quoz, you will find workshops filled with zombie cars. They strip them down. They replace the melted dashboards. They flush the sand out of the engines. These cars are then often exported. If you buy a used luxury car in Europe or Africa and the deal seems too good to be true, check the VIN number. It might be a Dubai refugee. Might be a car that spent 2 years baking in an airport parking lot before getting a quick paint job and a new set of tires. These are ticking time bombs for the new owners. The sand gets everywhere. It gets into the air conditioning, the alternator, the cylinders. You can never truly get all the sand out of a Dubai car that has been abandoned. So is the situation getting better? The UAE government has realized that sending people to jail for debt is bad for business. It scares away entrepreneurs. In recent years, they have updated the bankruptcy laws. Now there are more steps before jail time. You can file for insolvency. You can restructure debt. This has reduced the number of midnight runs to the airport compared to the 2009 crash. However, the culture hasn't completely changed. The fear is still there, and the economic volatility is still there. When crypto crashed in 2022, a fresh wave of G-Wagons and Lamborghinis started appearing in the impound lots. When the real estate market corrects, the parking lots fill up again. As long as Dubai attracts people who live beyond their means on high-interest credit, the graveyard will keep growing. There is also the rental trap. A huge number of supercars in Dubai are rentals. Tourists come, rent a Huracan for a day to flex on TikTok and then crash it. Or they can't pay the deposit. Or they get hit with $5,000 in speeding fines. Dubai has speed cameras everywhere. Sometimes the rental companies themselves go bust. When a luxury rental agency goes bankrupt, their fleet is often abandoned in a lot while the banks fight over the assets. I've seen entire rows of gold-wrapped cars sitting in dusty lots, the remnants of a failed rental business. The image of the abandoned supercar is the perfect metaphor for Dubai itself. It represents the extreme highs and the extreme lows. It represents a city that moves so fast, it doesn't have time to look in the rearview mirror. If you can't keep up, you are left behind. Just like that Ferrari at the airport. For the car enthusiast watching this, it's painful. Seeing a piece of engineering art like a Bugatti Veyron or a Mercedes SLR McLaren neglected is a tragedy. These cars were built to be driven at 200 miles per hour, not to be homes for stray cats and spiders in a desert lot. But for the bargain hunters, it's an opportunity. There are entire YouTube channels dedicated to finding these cars, buying them cheap, and trying to restore them. It's the modern-day treasure hunt. Instead of digging for pirate gold, they are digging through layers of dust to find a V12 engine. So what should you do if you find yourself in Dubai and you see one of these cars? First, don't touch it. Writing "Clean Me" on the hood scratches the paint because the dust is essentially ground glass and rock. Second, realize that you are looking at a crime scene, not necessarily a violent one, but a financial one. That car represents a life that fell apart. It represents a bankruptcy, a divorce, a flight from the law. It's a ghost story wrapped in carbon fiber. The Ferrari graveyard is a stark reminder that money can buy you a lot of things in Dubai, but it cannot buy you security. The moment the cash flow stops, the desert reclaims everything. If you are ever tempted to move to Dubai and buy a supercar on credit, remember the dusty Enzo. Remember that the previous owner probably thought they had made it too, until the day they didn't. And if you're in the market for a cheap supercar, maybe book a ticket to the next Dubai police auction. Just bring a mechanic, bring a lot of patience, and maybe bring a priest to exorcise the bad financial karma from the passenger seat. I want to know what you think. If you found a keys in ignition Ferrari at the airport, what would you do? Would you try to buy it? Or would you run away, knowing it's a curse? And seriously, would you buy a sand-damaged Lambo for $20,000? Let me know in the show comments below. We are going to keep exposing the side of Dubai the influencers won't show you. We have a video coming up about the gold souk scams that tourists fall for every day. You need to see it before you buy jewelry there. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please smash that like button. It really helps the algorithm show this video to more people. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We are working hard to bring you the truth, and we need your support. Stay safe, drive safe, and pay your debts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.